This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 18th of June, 2021, and I am 2J.
I'm Tuam.
And I am GK. In case you missed the headlines, here they are. In the Daily Nation, Uhuru Raila craft coalition for 2022. In the Standard, Raila and Kalonzo clash on 2022 race. And in the Star, Raila's ODM to sign 2022 pact with Uhuru's JP.
Wow, the race is on.
Race is on.
Yes.
And we have always hypothesized that there will be no election in 2022. But just in case the gods decide otherwise, we hypothesize that there will be a new tyranny of numbers in 2022. And that tyranny of numbers consists of a Luo, Kamba, Luya and Gema alliance. An alliance of Raila, Kalonzo, Mudavadi and Nakikuyu with the head of a coconut will form government in 2022. And here is why. We will use ethnic numbers that formed their core support in 2017. The Raila, Kalonzo and Mudavadi bloc has 6.9 million registered voters, 2.6 Luya, 2.2 Luos and 2.1 million Kambas. The Gema vote is 5.6 million voters. Now, let's give half of the 5.6 million, excuse me, the 5.6 million Gema votes, which is 2.8 million votes, to the vote basket the Raila Alliance will have. This means they will have 9.7 million registered voters.
Yeah.
Now, let us look at the Ruto numbers. Ruto's core support only has two tribes, the Kalenjin and Gema. The Kalenjin are only 2.3 million registered voters. Gema registered voters are 5.6 million. Now, assume 70% of Gema goes with Ruto. Ruto will have in the bag 3.9 million votes. 3.9 plus 2.3 is 6.2 million votes. Now, these numbers are purely on core support basis.
Yeah.
Question is, are things likely to turn out this way? Excuse me. Now, there are big voting blocks like the Luya Nation that have always split the vote. If we split the Luya vote 50-50 and give each to both alliances, how will the numbers look like?
Yeah.
Take half of the 2.6 million Luya votes, then give to Ruto. Ruto will have 7.5 million votes, and Raila will have 8.4 million votes. Raila still wins either way. What's our point here? The Gema vote is a prime mover. Should we have an election in 2022? Any alliance without Gema is dead in the water. But more importantly, should we have an election, a Raila, Kalonzo and Musalia ticket has a big head start. All they need is less than 30% of Gema. Ruto, however, needs 100% Gema support to become president. Any fragmented Gema support, he goes straight to the opposition bench. It is no wonder he tweets and sings in Kikuyu. He knows that without Kikuyus, he is zero.
So I didn't know that we made the assumption that there'll be no election in 2022. I think that's a damaging ignorance assumption.
2M has been saying it for a while.
We've been saying it for such a long time.
But now that we're here on the winning headlines table, the headlines today gave me, or left me with a question rather. Are pre-election alliances better than post-election alliances?
Yeah.
Admittedly, this isn't an easy question to answer, but maybe it's possible to ask it by looking at which is longer lasting and which offers the most stability for country. So pre-election bargaining spares the voters the uncertainty of post-election alliances. Well-crafted pre-election coalitions are more robust, are more durable because they offer incentives and moderation from day one.
Yes.
What would 2007 have looked like if Kibaki and Raila had formed a mutually beneficial alliance before the election? Just a question. Post-election alliances, though, are born of necessity. Using 2007, 2008 as an example again, in my view, the government of national unity was a sham. I say this because it wasn't built on any foundation of shared goals or agenda. It was a pacifier for a dark moment in our history. It wasn't about building forward, it was about creating stability. But let's examine why coalitions and alliances are formed at all. The simple answer is, I can't get what I want, and so I need your help. But in a political context, there are normally three reasons. One, to secure a majority in government. 2, to create a credible opposition. And 3, to consolidate support in the run-up to an election. And 2022 is becoming a combination of number 1 and number 3. We have submitted that the next election will be a runoff election, or maybe there won't be an election at all, we'll see. But this means that each candidate knows that alliances will be essential. Therefore, coalitions for majority's sake, or that 50% plus 1, will dictate the next 14 months. And this takes us back to my original question. Pre-election or post-election coalition building? Which offers our politicians the most? So we have to be honest and admit that on the coalition front, William Ruto is currently at a massive disadvantage. To put it bluntly, he has no friends. Important ones, that is. But before talking about building alliances, you first need to have a seat at the table. Any table that is relevant. The DP doesn't even know which room the table is in. And so he does the next best thing, which is to play the isolated victim. But this will only last for so long. Because at the end of the day, politics is a game of give and take. Alliances are important. Many moments in history have shown the benefit of prioritizing unity before an election as opposed to after. The next question remains. Will the handshake hold for the next 14 months? And is it better to have Ruto on the outside peeing in or the inside peeing out? We'll wait to see what happens.
Nice. So this week also got me thinking, is Ruto still using an old map to get to new lands? Is he using the Nyayo old map to get to the presidency? If so, the problem is that this map will lock him in the wilderness for a very long time. When he exclaimed Guy Fafa this week on Twitter, he ought to remember that Uhuru had offered him a shorter, easier roadmap to the presidency. But instead of standing side by side with Uhuru, Ruto chose to create his center of power and carve out his own path. But Raila, through handshake, saw the easier route to the presidency after many years in the wilderness. When the handshake happened, we called Raila a turncoat revolutionary, but we were wrong. Raila was being a consummate politician. Here at the Fifth Estate, we submit that the battle between Ruto and Raila will be a battle for the mind and not the vote. We can see that Raila is looking at the why question and Ruto is looking at the what question. The why question is about purpose. It's about where we are going as a country. But the what question is all about possessions. It's about what one will get. Raila seems to be focusing on purpose, we hope, where we are going and where we're going as a nation. And Ruto is focused on possessing the big seat. He's focused not on what he will get and not where he will take us. Therefore, if Uhuru seems a little frustrated with Ruto, it is because Ruto simply has no vision. And for a long time, Raila was like Ruto. His vision for Kenya was all about Raila. Ruto's vision for Kenya now is all about Ruto. If Ruto doesn't change tact, Raila will inherit this presidency. We know that presidents are made. They're not self-made. Uhuru Kenyatta can make Ruto or Raila the president, but he will only do so or do it on his own terms. Ruto seems hell-bent on becoming president on his own terms. He wants to make himself president, and his approach, politically speaking, seems completely untaught. Ruto's strategy has been to capitalize on the Woishe factor, that Uhuru doesn't support him, while using the Hustler Nation, using class as a weapon against Uhuru and Raila. But the Hustler Nation is all chest, but no brains. This is why Ruto should use the Hustler Nation very selectively. Their deception, just like that of Gemma, will be abrupt and very deadly. On that note, we have 3-part criteria that we use to break down headlines or to judge them. We ask, is it topical or speculative? Is it repetitive or groundbreaking? Is it thoughtful or just plain lazy? I quite like the Daily Nation that Uhuru Raila are crafting a coalition for 2022.
Very good.
It is imaginative. And then we have the Standard and we have the Star, Raila's ODM to sign 2022 pact. Which do we give it to? Who do we give it to?
Daily Nation.
Toss the Star. Toss the Standard.
There you have it. Daily Nation gives us our winning headline. And so today's winning headline was from the Daily Nation. And I want to leave you with a quote. As a general principle, people feel more responsible for their actions than they do for their inactions. If we're going to err at something, we would rather err by failing to act So don't fail to act. Have a lovely weekend. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on TV. We're on GoTV, Time for You to Air, and Starters.